Solo JRPG secured first place. Foxling Bubble took out the garbage without being asked.
Hi everyone, Mr. Shins here. Tonight, a very special stream. We're doing Houndwife. Solo, thank you for being first. I really appreciate that. And Foxling, thank you for taking out the garbage. I didn't even ask you to do that. Wow, you know, your initiative and responsibility, they just show how thoughtful and mature you're becoming. Man, keep up the amazing work.
Foxling Bubble just cheered
Foxling!
100 bits.
Thank you for the very generous gift of bits. Can't forget that. Really appreciate it. Hello and welcome. I don't know how to say this. Pow Cutie? I'm gonna call you Pow Cutie if that's okay. And L, hello and welcome. It's the Houndwife main menu theme playing. It is. Hello, Ocreatus. So tonight is a very special stream. We are streaming Houndwife, followed by Midnight Oil, and after each VN is played, we're going to talk to the developers. And Ocreatus is one of those developers here to represent Houndwife. Really, really looking forward to talking to them after the stream. Damn, my stream was like years behind, says Elle. Maybe a refresh might help. Hi. Thank you for being here. I see a lot of people in chat coming in. I think we're going to go ahead and just get started. So this game was created within a month for the Spooktober VN Jam 2025. If you want to download, rate, and play it, not in that order, download, play, and rate it, you can. There's a link that's pinned at the top of the chat. You can go download it there. Really encourage anybody that is interested, Foxing, thank you for the lurk, to please give it a rating. That really helps the developers gain visibility for the jam. All right, so without further ado, Houndwife. Dr. Visra. Well, ma'am, I can only remind you so many times that the creature about to walk through your door is quite literally our company's greatest project to date. Madam Maxie, hello and welcome. There have been so many resources poured into it that calling it merely your husband undermines everything we've done to create the ideal beast. This art is really cool, says Solo. I am more than aware of this feat, Dr. Visra. Your project has spent this entire month being lauded as our innovation of the year, and yet you simply forget that he is my husband first and foremost. Love the character sprites. Hello, Pumpkin Gordman. The shorter woman frowned, biting the inside of her cheek as she glanced away for a moment. But something I'm noticing is that, like, this seems like everything so far has been like a CG. Do we have individual sprites here, or is this all going to be CG? Either way, very impressive. Hi, the artist of Houndwife here. Glad you all like the art. Rananculus, thank you so much for being here. And yes, we like the art. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and allow that because it's all CGs. Okay, wait, this is going to be all CGs. Wow, very impressive. The shorter woman frowned, biting the inside of her cheek as she glanced away for a moment. It didn't matter much to you, though. As far as you knew, Atlas, your husband, was meant to be on vacation and returning sometime next week. He should have had stories of fun beaches and going jet skiing or whatever it was he deemed relaxing. You were to accompany him too, had Visra not proposed such a tempting offer with her upcoming project. In retrospect, the project would have been cancelled regardless, given the extremes demanded of the human body. Of all the subjects, only Atlas had seemingly come out of the trial unscathed. You didn't want to think about the other candidates, mutilated and torn apart from their own bodies changing too quickly. To be honest, you weren't even sure how he, of all people, ended up as the prime subject of such heavy experimentation. He was your right-hand man at the company, and your ever-loving paramour, not some low-ranked nobody who could have volunteered. You could make your assumptions, especially considering that you'd already canceled dozens of Visra's passion projects following some budget cuts. Were it not for her being the only one capable of reversing what had been done to Atlas, you might have arranged for her immediate termination. There was a slow, scratching sound at the door, scraping against the ornate wood. and stirring you from your thoughts. Visera bristled, glaring at the door, watching the knob rattle in place for a moment before she sighed. It seems the man of the hour has arrived. You did dog-proof the place, right? The door cracked open, inching silently as the quiet sound of nails clicked against the tile. This music is something. Wow. I think it's just a little bit hot, so I'm just gonna go into the settings and turn it down a hair. That's too much. The beast behind the door lowered himself as he entered, his massive frame struggling to fit beneath the 7-foot doorway before he finally pulled himself through. Isn't the hound just marvelous? No. Frankly, he wasn't. He was disgusting and revolting, and he stank of a soggy dog mixed with sweat and blood. You couldn't help but shy away from his vivid green eyes as he stared at you, unblinking, with rows of scales beneath them like shadows. Atlas's eyes were a light hazel, and they were never so striking or sunken in. You were sure that if he could, he would be bemoaning the thought of eye bags. Your husband was many things, and being vain was one of them. You could picture him throwing himself about, whining that he'd need to hide them, or else he'd be mistaken for someone ill. Or whatever other over-the-top dramatics he'd whimper and cry to you about. You weren't even sure if speech was possible for the beast. Though it didn't matter much, as the hound was muzzled at the moment. His pronounced snout was caged away, and arguably for good reason. Even from this angle, you could see jagged teeth jutting from his maw, drool slick in the creases of his mouth. His wings fully extended out from his body, brushing against the hallway walls. Those shriveled things were clearly never made for practical flight, and yet, there they were, clenched against his back as his tail, spiky and barbed, swayed slightly. Was there anything even left of Atlas? He looked expectant, as if hoping you'd say something. I'm honestly quite proud of how he came out. Altering those lanky bones of his took some work. And frankly, if I were you, I wouldn't go taking that muzzle off. He's far more aggressive than the Atlas we knew. Kinda a nightmare to put up with. He tried to bite one of my associates' hands off when we were trying to feed him. He continued to stare at you, fidgeting in place, his ears flattened back in anticipation of you meeting his gaze. Greet him, or stare back at him? Well, I mean, it's no fun to just stare. Let's say hello. Hello, Atlas. Glad to have you home. Atlas stiffened for a moment, ears perking up as his tail slowly swished back and forth in some repressed manner of joy. Then, he gave you a slow nod, averting his gaze. Atlas brushed past the two of you, moving down the hallway with a careful, near-silent walk. His only giveaway was the clicking of his claws against the tiles. And there he goes. He's probably going to need a bit to settle in. His senses have rapidly improved, and, you know, who knows what your apartment smells like to a dog. I wouldn't be surprised if that light lavender air freshener you have over there is killing him. That said, if I were you, I'd start prepping up some food for him. I've been keeping him on a protein-rich diet. With a body like his, it's wise to keep him well fed, else he'll start getting testy or fatigued. Both, really, when you think about it. You stared at him as he ambled in the hallway, his eyes almost reflecting the hall light back at you, scanning over the various pictures you had on the wall. Speaking of food, are you sure you don't want at least a few guards here? I'd really rather not let you be alone with him if he gets irrational again. You gave her a mild glare. Woogie, thank you for the lurk. You gave her a mild glare. I'm sure I can handle him. It'd be in your best interest to prioritize fixing him, after all. Yeah, I know. I got work to do for the next, well, forever, honestly. Yes, like reversing what you've done to him. Viscera gave you a glare back, rolling her eyes for a moment before sighing. Of course. And if he proves too much for you to handle, he was managing just fine back at the labs. Routine feedings and all with the night shift. That idea churned your stomach. You remembered exactly what he'd looked like by the time you caught on to what Viscera had done to him. You wouldn't want that. I said I can handle him just fine. Just leaving options out there. Don't blame me if he goes berserk. You kept your gaze at the hound that had replaced your husband. You heard Viscera leave, but you were far more focused on him, watching him paw at himself. He kept tugging at his mane of fur, his reptilian eyes caught on every picture hung along the wall. You could start making dinner. It was a bit early for that, but you didn't want to take any chances on letting him go hungry for too long. Be that as it may, it had been more than a month since you had gotten to see him. Perhaps you could catch up with him? Follow him? Let him wander on his own. Well, I don't know. Seems a little dangerous. I mean, it might be good to let him settle in like a cat. You know, you don't want to chase a cat around and introduce to a new environment. I mean, he's not exactly a cat, though, is he? He's your husband. Follow him. He's your husband, isn't he? He's your husband! Yeah, that makes sense to me. Well, why shouldn't we talk to him? It'd be cruel to ignore him after he's just made it home. He began to walk down the hallway and, in doing so, allowed Atlas a moment to glance at you. Upon noticing you'd met his gaze, he looked away, focusing on the pictures on the wall. His eyes lingered on the various photos tracing from your college years where you thought lead scientist was who you'd always be, to your wedding photo, dated roughly 5 years ago. You remember it all, right? Our time together? Atlas froze for a moment. A sickly wheeze slipped from under his muzzle before he nodded at you. You realized from this angle that the belt straps holding the muzzle to his face were practically digging into his flesh, as if almost too small to sit right. You were certain it was just some generic dog muzzle your mutinous science team had thrown on him. Viscera warned you to keep the muzzle on for your own safety, but He was your husband. Oh, I don't know. I mean, Vizra warned us. Vizra warned us not to take the muzzle off. So we should probably do what Vizra said, right? But he's our husband. How are we going to smooch with the muzzle on? Callus, thank you for the hydrate. I really appreciate that. Whiskey's for drinking, water's for fighting over. I mean, it's digging into his skin. It's digging into his snout. It's not right. What does Vizra know? I think you make a good point, Pumpkin Gordman. We're gonna take it off. Let's take it off. He's not some animal. You knew that. He's a person who Vizra turned into this beast. You wouldn't want to wear a muzzle, especially not one so tight it was rubbing his skin raw. Atlas, come here for a moment. Let's get that off you. Atlas froze, eyeing you with a cautious expression as you reached your hands to his head. His fur was matted and greasy from neglect. It felt almost like his own hair before he became this thing, if not thicker. He remained tense, green eyes slitted as he peered down at you. Then, with a heavy breath, he bent closer. You heard this movement elicit various pops and cracks from his elongated spine as his wings pulled close to him. You weren't sure how he could control all of that, or if he even was controlling it. You just knew you had to remove this garish thing from him. It came off relatively easily as he bowed his head to you. You merely had to undo the clasps, and he immediately pulled his snout free, staggering back from you as he worked his jaw. Is that better for you? Atlas slowly nodded, opening his mouth for a moment to reveal his pronounced canines and darkened gums. He made a soft groaning noise from the back of his throat, tilting his head ever so slightly while keeping his expression in that same half-opened mouth sort. You quietly realized that the creased corners of his jaws and that same light wheezing sound he was making were meant to be some parody of a smile. Our cutest little doggo of a husband. It's adorable. It's adorable, right? So adorable. You gave him a tentative smile back, nodding briefly before averting your gaze. Atlas whimpered faintly, pulling himself closer to you as his wings rustled against themselves, feathers curling with the movement. He's just a silly little guy. Just a silly little guy. It's fine. He is not going to eat my face off. He's not going to eat Iris's face off. No, of course not. Right? Definitely not biased or anything. I'm sure. You stared at him as he eyed you with a strange, wary softness. He set his paws on your shoulders, pulling you closer in some half attempt to hug you. He let out a slow breath, his mouth parting slightly, and you caught a faint whiff of old meat and blood as he exhaled onto you. His breath was hot and almost damp. Then carefully he moved to wrap himself around you. Do you let him embrace you? I mean, what choice do we have at this point? Are you going to push him away? That would be very rude. What if he gets mad? He doesn't have a muzzle on anymore. I think we've lost some control here. I say yes. He pulled himself around you, squeezing tightly. You felt your back begin to bend, aching under his strength. You heard him let out a low whine, almost mistaking it for a hiccup. His tail swept across the ground in what you could only assume to be happiness. Before the embrace could go on for much longer, his stomach rumbled against you. He immediately recoiled, practically throwing you from his arms as he staggered back, eyes pinpricked with fear and arms pulled over himself to hide his torso. Poor guy. He's afraid he's going to eat his wife. That's what it seems like. Are you hungry? The beast looked at you for a long moment, his chest rattling with each breath as he averted his gaze. Hungry like a wolf. I love it. Then he nodded, in such a fashion that you wondered if he was afraid you'd scorn him for feeling even the slightest bit peckish. Then let's get you some food, Atlas. Please, I want you to be comfortable here. Atlas sheepishly nodded, following you into the kitchen. Sorry, following? Following you? Atlas sheepishly nodded, following you into the kitchen. It was rather cramped now, with the large beast leaning against the pantry, watching you with cautious eyes. He hovered beside you as you pulled out the thawed steak. It was good quality meat. You'd been meaning to cook it up as a surprise for when Atlas returned from his trip. Maybe as a way to make up for the fact that you hadn't been able to go with him after all. Judging by the way Atlas's attention was honed in on the raw red meat, you'd figured you'd at least done your job well at surprising him. Take a seat, Atlas. I'll have it done in just a bit, all right? Atlas nodded, eyes locked on the packaged steak, his jaw twitching as you set it aside to grab a pan. I mean, does he need it cooked? I guess it's more civilized. Then he inhaled sharply, breaking away to pivot and walk into the dining room. You let out a slow sigh, shaking your head wistfully as he found his seat by the doorway, clumsily pulling himself to the table, his tail slowly sliding through the chair's opening. He stared at you for a moment before tugging the chair closer to the edge, sitting attentively in wait. You found it almost cute that he kept trying to watch you cook, but would snap his head away every time you met his gaze. Atlas was never known for being over the top with his food. Frankly, it's why you wanted to surprise him with such a dish. He had a peculiar palate. It definitely made it seem like he preferred his food fancier than most. Regularly booking out rather exquisite diners and restaurants for two of you to sample on dates or special celebrations. That said, your husband was an eccentric man, always chasing after the latest trends and desires. And yet, he was painfully simple. He liked his comfort food as if he were a pauper, barely able to afford anything beyond eating his own shoe. You hadn't met anyone who could scarf down a plain pasta before him. Oh, you hadn't met anyone who could scarf down on a plain pasta before him. He'd eat instant mac and cheese if you didn't make sure he was eating a proper meal. The smell of raw steak searing was mouth-watering, even to you. You imagined what Atlas' enhanced senses must have been like as oil popped against the half-cooked steak. With the muzzle no longer obscuring his face, you could see him freely salivate at the table. Kept his gaze focused on it, trying to placate himself as drool beaded onto his lap. He rubbed his face every now and then, digging his paw into his snout with a low groan. Ah. He has paws now. You hadn't really gotten a good look. And maybe you foolishly believed that despite the wings, scales, and snout, and whatever else Viscera had done to him, he'd somehow still have hands. Not those web-fused nubs for fingers. You stopped yourself from thinking any further. You just had to hope that Viscera could fix this, that all of him could be fixed. I'd love to get a closer look. This seems really close to me. But, to each their own. The steaks were practically done. Rare plus, just how Atlas wanted it. He always preferred his meat as close to raw as possible, even before his lupin transformation. He'd make some witty one-liner about it, too. You could just hear him musing on it in your mind, quipping about how it made him hungry like the wolf, or something equally stupid. All right, I'm going to stop right here. Our pre-roll has just gone off. I'm going to go ahead and take our first commercial break. I'm sorry to anybody that's behind the commercial wall, but I will see you in just 180 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for being here through the break. We continue. He'd make some witty one-liner about it, too. You could just hear him musing on it in your mind, quipping about how it made him hungry like the wolf, or something equally stupid. You were sure that if this happened to anyone else, he'd comment on the irony of it all. You pulled the steaks off the pan and placed them on three plates, one each for you and Atlas, and a spare in case he'd want extra food. Atlas wasn't one for a big appetite before all this, and you weren't sure if that had changed. Still, it was good to keep seconds on hand, even if you weren't one for leftovers. You sighed, scraping a glob of butter onto your knife to smear over the steak, watching it slowly melt against the crisp, darkened surface. You presented him with the meal, setting the dish down in front of him. As you moved to take your seat across from him, you watched him shudder with delight, licking his lips with an audible smack. "I hope you enjoy it, Atlas." He gave a half-hearted howl at you, fidgeting in place as you sat down. You didn't look at him while you ate, keeping your focus on cutting into your steak. You were not sure what you expected to see if you were to look up, truthfully. It had always been him dominating these conversations, day in and day out. He'd find anything to talk about, whether it was some new intern messing up their work to the latest celebrity news. We're jamming. Thank you, Ocreatus. He always had something to say. You missed that. You spent the month eating in silence with his absence, and maybe you weren't ready for another few months of it again. And you should break it, you thought. You were sure he would appreciate it. "Atlas, did I tell you how the monthly meeting went?" When you looked up for a moment, you swore it was him. Atlas, as he was. He'd wear that same sleepy smile you'd come to know, as a look of love reserved just for you as he nodded along to you. Then he'd laugh at some comment you made before picking up his fork to wave at you. Bon appetit, darling. But that wouldn't be what was there. No. You heard Atlas snarl, flicking splatters of drool across the table as your vision of what once was faded away. Atlas tore into the steak, his body arched over the table as if shielding the slab of meat from you. He met your gaze, twisting his snout into a sneer as he snapped his teeth at you before shoving the meal into his mouth. Oh, God. Perhaps you should have cut it into smaller pieces for him. That might have stopped him from using his teeth to rip it all apart, right? No ketchup, says Pumpkin Gordman. No, I guess just, just plain, as is. That's the way a lot of people like it. Then again, perhaps that wouldn't have made much of a difference as he fished for the plate with the extra servings, dragging it closer as it scraped against the table. At that moment, you weren't even sure you could call him your husband. He had to be, right? He stared at you, ears pressed back, a growl gurgled in his throat, muffled between globs of drool pooling from his salivating maw. There wasn't an ounce of recognition in those stark green eyes, not even a hint of the man you knew. You couldn't bring yourself to call him Atlas. You didn't know what to call him. That's still my husband. That's a monster. I mean, she's not eating you. Yet. So... I mean... I think, poor table manners, big turnoff. I still think that we should afford him some humanity. He didn't eat us. We took his muzzle off. He's eating steak that we made for him. He really seems to be enjoying it. I think it's fine. He's still my husband. Atlas Servine. Atlas Servine? Atlas Servine. Atlas immediately bristled, ears perking up before he glanced down at himself. His body was half pulled onto the table and various meat chunks splattered over his mane, matting into his fur. He's just got a monster appetite, right? Yeah, I think, he's enjoying the food. We shouldn't be judgmental here. We've all been there. Yeah, I mean, I was there earlier today, if I'm being honest. He staggered back and sat in his chair with rigid posture, paws folded in his lap, watching you with laser focus. It seemed he was still your husband, despite it all. He gingerly reached for the fork, letting out a strangled whimper from the back of his throat as the silverware slipped from his paw and clattered to the floor. Aw, he can't pick up the fork. He's just got paws. He's just got paws. He can't pick up a fork. Why we can't expect him to pick up a fork? His hands were hardly suited for eating anymore as you watched him lean down, wedging the cutlery between his claws. Do you need help? He snapped his head, pinning his ears back as he glanced down at the fork, almost in shame. You took his lack of response as an answer in itself, standing to pull your chair closer and bring your plate to him. He'll do it for you. You're his wife. Ah, okay. Good deal. He barked at you, shaking his head as you moved the chair next to him. Yet he stayed seated, as if he knew you wouldn't back down now that you were standing. I can feed you too, Atlas. You forget that I want you here. You're my husband, my love, and I'm willing to do anything I can for you to give you some sense of normalcy as well. Either way, I'm a lot less hungry than I thought I was. Here, you can have my leftovers. Atlas groaned for a moment as you set the plate down, pushing it back with a light shake of his head. Atlas, I insist. You sat down across from him, picking up your fork and knife to start cutting into the steak. He licked his lips expectantly, wiping his snout with his paws. We'll get used to this. Both of us. When you fed him, he nibbled slowly on the fork, skittishly plucking the meat from the metal. From where you were, it was hard to ignore how large his face was now. Shift! I see you met some fans today. Yes, we were at TwitchCon today. Fans. Fans is a stretch. But yes, I met people today. Nice to see you, Shift. A weird thing to think about, but one that you were now forced to face. His snout alone was almost bigger than your hand. Every part of his face was covered in fur or scales. Not a single feature could be recognized as the Atlas you once knew. Also, the famous Vile Council and George Galinas. I hope you got their autographs. I didn't think about getting their autographs. Maybe I should have done that. But yes, I did see them. And I'm going to see them again, I think, before they leave. He faltered under your gaze, pulling away and glancing at the wall as he tilted his head back to swallow. I'm just looking at you, Atlas. He worked his jaw for a moment, opening and closing his mouth, as if trying to speak. You realized that he was afraid of you as he shied away from you further in his failure to speak. He turned to look at you again as you offered him food. You noticed that his eyes followed the food more than making eye contact with you. He bit into the steak, then drew his head back, ears pulling tight as he swallowed the chunk. He averted his gaze, pawing at his face again to wipe away any stray mess. Couldn't help but notice the chafed, tender skin under his lips. Atlas peeked at you before, retreating into himself, rustling his wings as if to shield himself from your gaze. You didn't know what he had to be afraid of, but if he was nervous over you watching him, you should look away? Or keep looking? I mean, I'm his wife. I should be able to look at him. Don't I have a right? Don't I have a right to look at my husband? On the other hand, maybe it's more respectful to look away, to respect his feelings. Although I don't want him to think that I disapprove of him somehow. He is my husband after all. I think that's a 2-to-1. I think I'm going to keep looking. I need to make sure I know everything they've done to you. Atlas slowly turned to look back at you as you held up another piece of meat for him. You're not some monster, all right? I just need to recognize that too. He nodded slowly, responding to your words with a muffled burf. A muffled burf. You're my husband, Atlas, and I want to make sure you know that. Ocreatus says burf. I love it. As he continued to eat from you, he watched you with a cautious and yet loving gaze as you offered him more of the steak. Atlas snatched the last bite from you, and you looked up to watch him gleefully savor the final hunk of steak before swallowing it. He perked his ears up, tilted his head as he studied your expression, eyes scanning over you. As if satisfied, he pressed his snout against your forehead, nose damp against your skin, in an attempt to kiss you. You smiled at him, reaching out to run your hand through his fur. "You're very cute, Atlas." He closed his eyes, tilting his head to the side, and yipped at you. "Let me get the table cleaned up. You can head to the other room." Atlas bobbed once, pulling himself out of the chair and stretching briefly. Are we glad we got that muzzle off? Now he's giving smooches, right? Yeah, no, this is very cozy. I'm still a little afraid of getting eaten, but just a little bit. He scrunched up his snout as he brushed his paw against his damp fur, taking a quick glance at you before quietly stalking away. You noticed the mess he'd left on the table, but at least you got through your first meal with him. Surely the rest would be better. After the mess in the dining room was cleaned up, you found Atlas in the living room. He was leisurely grooming himself while watching television. His alert eyes reflected the television's ultramarine light, turning a deep blue. The program was some vacation destination show, trying to sell various tourist traps to its viewers. Barely anything substantial beyond pretty views and atmospheric music. Atlas's favorite channels. You honestly never saw the appeal of it, but here he was, wistfully watching the crystalline waves roll onto silver sands, orange sunset seeping into turquoise waters, casting a gentle glow onto Atlas's wolf-like features. His eyes tracked each digital palm tree, rustling the wind as a distant voiceover highlighted the features of the destination. Atlas had always loved the idea of beaches. Water in general, really. Lakes, rivers, and shores were some things that this landlocked city would never let them see. A sinking feeling settled deep in your chest when you realized that he was meant to go on vacation. If he was this wretched creature now, and he never made it to that beach resort, did he? You sat down beside him watching the televised waves roll in and out. He turned to face you, palm pulled close to his mouth as he dragged his tongue across the damp fur. His eyes were wide, whether from fear of your judgment or the general excitement of your presence, you couldn't tell. The show was soothing in its own way, yet your gaze kept drifting to Atlas, studying his lupine features. If only you could see some part of your husband reflected in him. Oh, do I have a puzzle? This looks kind of right. Wait. do I... I'm not sure. Let's see. Maybe that's more like this. Ah, I'm starting to see it. No, don't spin. They should click into piece when it's positioned right. Okay, good. So, I think... Ah, come back. Like so. No, click. Hold space to skip puzzle. The game thinks I suck. Ah, that one clicked into place. It's close. There we go. Come on now. Really thought that... Oh, there we go. No. There we go. Oh, maybe I've got it the wrong way. Yeah, that was it. Silly me. We've got that. Virtue Bro, thank you for the lurk. I feel that with the Houndwife, says Virtue. You guys, Virtue has a like a 60 meter direwolf for a wife. So he really does get it. Okay. Hands. There's a hand. What bit goes where? Is that like so? No, that's not right. Holy bingle! I've not heard the term bingle before, Ocreatus. I like it. Okay, what is this an arm? What am I looking at here? Oh, that kind of looks... No. Save the hardest part for last. Oh, this looks like it. Good deal. And... what's this? I love this music. Is that right? Getting there. We're getting there. Like so. Last piece. Beneath it all, that's still your husband. You know him too well to forget. He has those gentle, soft eyes, still tinted blue by the glow of the television. You raised an uncertain hand to pet him, and at the motion, he bristled, tossing you a quick, cautious glance. You offered a small smile, trying to reassure him as your fingers slid through his fur. It almost felt like his original hair. You use a bath. God, you didn't even want to think of bathing him. Not yet, anyway. He stayed eerily still as you slowly ran your hand through his thick pelt. He leaned closer, pressing his body into yours. You rewarded the intimacy with a gentle scritch under his ears. He immediately relaxed, eyes rolling back as he rested his weight on you. Funny, you never thought of yourself as a dog person. You heard the quiet thumping of his tail against the couch, and for a moment, your hand froze. He let out a shrill whine, moving to pull away in embarrassment, but you only pulled him closer, continuing to pet him. You can lie down, Atlas. He stayed there, letting you massage deep into the nape of his neck as he nestled closer to you. It was amusing. If you wanted to, you could pretend he was still human, falling asleep on you. Maybe he was. The show shifted from idyllic beaches to rural castles from distant countries you couldn't imagine ever visiting. Atlas probably would have, though. Then again, at that moment, Atlas was yawning, squeaking halfway through it as he smacked his lips and nuzzled against you. Shall we get you to bed, Atlas, dear? He looked at you with drowsy eyes, letting you twirl your fingers through the fur beneath his chin. Then he slowly nodded, pulling himself off you to stretch. You stood up and made your way to the bedroom, hearing the soft dragging of Atlas following behind you. You could hear Atlas lingering by the doorway as you began to change. He leaned in and out of your sight. The only real sign of his presence was the reflection of his eyes on the surface of the lamp. You looked at your bed and thinned your lips. Once upon a time, you and Atlas had called it a large bed, big enough for the two of you to spread out comfortably or lie together in each other's arms. The art looks good, doesn't it, Shift? However, with a quick glance toward the chimera still hovering in the doorway, you knew he'd easily be too tall for the bed, especially if he had to duck under door frames. Thank you, says Rananculus. I put a lot of effort into the art. It really shows. It's very, very pretty. Well done. You sighed. He'd sleep with you tonight. There was no way around it. He was your husband, and you weren't going to let him be alone. Though, perhaps you should give him a bath tomorrow. You wouldn't think about the logistics just yet. Atlas? He watched you with patient eyes, as if waiting for an invitation. You can come in. Atlas slowly stepped into the room, glancing around before catching sight of himself in the reflection of your vanity mirror. He let out a wail, covering himself with his paws and ruffling his wings. Then he turned to you, as if horrified you might comment on his appearance. You found little to say. His new lupine form, despite all of its bestial features, lent him the luxury of foregoing clothing entirely and retaining his modesty. You're all right, Atlas. Let's get you into bed. Atlas let out a low whine before making his way to his side of the bed. He collapsed onto the bed with a quiet thunk, briefly wrestling with the sheets before finally looking at you as you reached to turn off the lights. You eased into bed, mindful of the heavy weight that took up more than half the mattress. Atlas made some sort of quiet groan as your hand brushed against velvet feathers, then shifted sharply, pulling his wings away from you. I didn't see you there. You heard a faint grumble from your husband as you finally laid your head down, turning away from him. Atlas had changed quite a lot, far more than you even thought possible. Just a month ago, he was human, prattling on about some vacation he'd booked for the two of you. A month ago, you'd canceled the trip in favor of work, and he left in a huff. And now, 1 month later, he's back. He never looked like this before. It's likely he may never look the way he was again. He was still your husband. He just needed a moment to adjust to this, right? You heard him sit up slowly, the bed frame creaking under his weight. His breath was hot against your shoulder as he exhaled onto your bare skin. You froze as his nails clicked against the headboard. He was practically on top of you, droplets of saliva hanging. He wouldn't, right? See, this is what I'm worried about. Would he? I mean, are we going to get eaten? We shall see. This was your husband. This was Atlas, right? He bit down on the blankets instead, pulling the sheets up to your neck and tucking you in as you laid frozen. Then the mattress shifted as he crept back to his side of the bed, falling asleep with a slow sigh. You loved Atlas, his laugh, his favorite food, everything that made him who he was. And maybe, just maybe, you could love whatever he had become. Maybe. Ending 2, The Loyal Hound. Hey! Is that the end? That was great. Wow. Thank you, everybody. Can I I'm going to go ahead and have the developers join me in the Discord, and we're going to talk a little bit about the game. So I will see you guys there in just a second. We'll get some levels, and we'll have a chat. See you in a minute. Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much. So I have here Ocreatus. Am I saying your name correctly?
It's Ocreatus. I've got my
Ocreatus.
different names. Yes.
Okay, so Ocreatus is our director and writer. Ron is Rananculus, visual designer.
Yes, very much so.
Yes, very much so. Excellent. And then 9999 is our composer and audio designer. Enjoyed the music so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm 9,999 inventory full. A long name. So yeah, you could just call me that.
Nice to meet you, 9,999 inventory full. It is a pleasure. And is it Lucy, our proofreader?
Yeah. It's Lucy.
Lucy, thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for sharing your work and your time with us. I'm so excited to play this. And a special shout out to Ocreatus, just for being an enthusiastic supporter of your team and also this stream. So a shout out to you for just being awesome. It's been a pleasure making your acquaintance. So
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine. This is a delight.
nice. So how did you guys all come together? Have other team members done Spooktober before? Other jams? How did you all meet?
I'll take the lead for this one.
Sure.
This is very much a me and Ron have been knowing each other for a couple years now, and we've only just now started getting to game jams. So I attended the first meet and greet, shaking in my boots, and I met Rune, or I met 9,999 inventory full. You can hear my dog in the background.
That's okay. I've got airplanes and children and cats. I'm sure you guys have heard all that tonight, so no worries about that stuff.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I've met half the team through the meet and greets, and the other half through just moseying around lurking the recruitment page.
Very nice. So when you say the meet and greets, you mean the Dev Talk meet and greets in the Dev Talk forum?
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
Everybody who doesn't know, Spooktober is hosted through Dev Talk, which is headed up by Stella, and so it's a Discord where developers come together and meet and make connections and get together. So, Fool, hello, welcome. Okay, go on, please.
This is me and Ron's first Spooktober, and I think it's a couple of the other team members too. But I know the ones who were able to make it have done multiple Spooktobers by now. I'll pass the floor to anyone else.
Multiple Spooktobers. That's great. So
yes,
what did you guys do last year?
Me and Ron is our first Spooktober.
Oh, this is your first. Okay, I see. Okay, but some members.
There's a couple of members. Oh, I was just gonna say there's a couple of members who have done it before. I haven't done it before either. This is my first.
I must say, this is a really strong outing for a first go at Spooktober. Just the full CGs for every moment is really ambitious.
We sent Ron to the mines for that one. We were like doing like rain dances, praying that everything went well for Ron to get that done.
I was staying up very late each night to get it done. Mainly because I just work better at night.
That's phenomenal. Wow. Wow. So how did you, so I guess this is mostly for Ocreatus. Can you talk a little bit about what inspired and shaped the narrative of your game? How did you approach developing the story and the characters? Where did it come from?
I hate to admit it, I'm a no good, very bad monster fucker.
You're in the right place. So Virtue, I mean, not to call out Virtue Bro, who was in the chat earlier. Virtue has a direwolf wife on Twitch, and things are made more complicated because he's a 2-inch mouse. So I know it gets crazy. So I think our community is kind of primed to understand that.
I'm glad to hear. I was like, oh man, I really hoped mistershins would be like, okay, you can't be saying those words in my good Christian server.
No, we say those words here.
Right.
I think we get it.
So, honestly, I really wanted to do something that was more loving the monster and not fucking the monster so much. Shocker for me. But yeah, it was just, I had these idea for characters. I was like, okay, what if he was a monster? And what if she was a very skeptical and almost squeamish lover?
I love it because you definitely succeeded, because as the story progressed for me, I was feeling like, man, this is really like each scene is a moment. And it was just so, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, like domestic and calming. So it was not what I expected at all. Can you talk a little bit about like what your process is? Where did you start with the writing? Like how did you begin this?
So originally, it was just me and Ron on the team initially, and I was trying desperately to get a single choice game jam idea down. I was throwing everything at the wall, and it settled down to, you can see it in the dinner scene actually, this is still my husband or this is a monster. That choice originally was the only choice in the game in total. And so for that, I just kind of started slamming things together, and we decided to keep the choices, make them more, elaborate further on that. And well, it takes working late night shifts riding away to get things done, right?
I would say so, absolutely. And so it just kind of developed from there. From is this my husband or is it a monster?
Yes.
Wow. Ron, can I ask you kind of a similar question? What was your process for the art? Like, how did you start? How did you find the look for the characters?
So Atlas and Iris as character designs, they existed for a little bit longer, but more in the sense of I like making little doodle sheets and they keep popping up here and there. Atlas's base concept was very much it's not that different from the final concept art I'd make of him. Iris, on the other hand, I fought a long time with actually getting her to have a look that I would actively enjoy. She's also the harder one for me to draw between the two of them.
What was it about Iris that was difficult? Was it just that,
she doesn't smile?
She doesn't smile.
If you noticed, she looks most natural when she's smiling.
Oh, now that you mention it, yeah.
But so, to get the look right, I just kind of winged it. I only had one proper concept art done before the jam, when it came to finalizing the designs. And then I just went at it. I made storyboards, you could say, for each scene. And then I hoped to God that I would be able to get a good chunk of CGs done in that time, and then that was it.
Wow. Okay. And for Atlas, this was a character that, or like something that you've been doodling and you kind of had floating around and you sort of plugged it in?
He was an older idea between me and Atlas, or Ocreatus, and his design just kind of existed like that, yes.
That's so cool. That's so cool to take something that's sort of on the shelf and use it.
Right? I know everyone can enjoy him.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. He's really, really striking. So, well done there. 9,999 inventory full.
Yes.
This music is so good. I really enjoyed the soundtrack and the audio design. Can you also walk us through a little bit of what your process was for this?
Yeah, thanks. Basically, I was sent a few inspiration tracks. I think the one that I leaned into the most that I was sent was definitely the soundtrack for Mouthwashing, because it's such a striking game and it has such a calm ambiance to it sometimes, but then it ramps up, if you've ever played that game.
Yes.
Yeah. And definitely too, my own inspirations. I haven't actually played this game. I've just watched video essays about it, but I really love the soundtrack for Silent Hill 3. And what I like about the soundtrack for the Silent Hill series is if you actually listen to it, a lot of the songs in the soundtrack, if you keep on loop and you're not playing the actual game, you could fall asleep to. And that makes the scarier moments in it way more impactful. And I feel like it brings up the tension a lot without having to go in crazy with the atmospheric stuff. So I really like that. Yeah, so basically I listened to a lot of inspirations while I was coming up with stuff. And then I would compose basically an outline, almost like a sketch version of the song, either using I have a tiny little MIDI keyboard, which is a little mini piano, or on guitar. And then I would send it to the group just to make sure that the vibes were okay, because I was reading through the script and I was working a bit ahead of the art. Some of the art had thumbnails, but I wasn't seeing the art while I was composing. So I had to sort of imagine based off of the script. So then I did that. And then I would flesh out the song either by doing live instruments. Like I recorded some cello.
I heard you had some cello,
guitar.
Guitar.
Yeah,
Was there
and then-
ukulele in there, or was that guitar like with a capo or something?
That was I have a synth that like I have a plugin that does
wow.
I think it's pronounced like Chiringo or something.
I got fooled by the plugin. I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
Good plugin.
Yeah, having the MIDI keyboard, I've owned this MIDI keyboard for years, but I never figured out how to actually use it. But having it really helps because it allows you to convert the pressure of like how hard you're hitting the keys, sort of like a piano, to like how loud or how soft or like other settings in the synths or the plugins, and it just makes it sound even more realistic than if I was inputting it with like a mouse and a keyboard.
Oh, it's so great. It really did work. Like the whole like ukulele beach bit, like I was like, there's ukulele going on here. There's a lot of instrumentation.
Yeah. The beach one is me playing guitar.
Oh, that's guitar. Okay.
That one's guitar. But there's a bunch of different stuff. There's also me singing.
Oh, that's you. That was you vocalizing and singing on the tracks. You really. It seems like a lot of. It seems like you had a lot of coverage. Like, how many tracks did you make for this?
Oh my gosh, I'd have to. I can check really quick, but I ended up making a lot. Initially, there was only going to be tracks for each. One for each like section, because I hadn't completed I've worked on writing the soundtrack for a visual novel before, but I've never actually worked on anything that came close to being finished. So I didn't realize
congratulations,
how much
a finish. You got finished here.
Yeah. And sorry, I'm opening up the folder in like the other thing.
Oh, no worries.
But basically, at the last minute, because when we were bug testing the game, I ended up writing, I think maybe 4 or 5 different things that weren't initially there, because I realized that a few of the tracks, especially earlier on in the game, just went on forever because I didn't realize how long the player would actually be experiencing them until we did the bug testing. So at the last minute, I wrote a bunch.
You were listening to it and you felt like there was too much repetition, and so chose to write and plug in another track? More
or less. I think that what I initially wrote, especially for the first scene, because the first scene was originally just the track that went ha 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 ha. It was initially just that song until they start eating the meal. And when I was reading through the script, when you read through the script, it just goes a lot faster. So I didn't realize that all of these smaller moments that would need songs with slightly different emotions, even though the vibe fit the script generally in that section. But I can't find the folder, but
No
I actually
worries.
have the soundtrack posted on my YouTube, and it's about 30 minutes of songs. It's long.
Okay, it did seem like a lot, especially for a jam game. If you're okay with it, I will go ahead and link your YouTube in the description when this is posted on YouTube, so people can go and check out your work. Because I really enjoyed it, and it definitely, you definitely went above and beyond in terms of soundtrack. Not everybody gets this much, So just in terms of sheer volume, it's very impressive. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, I just wanted to add really quick. After all of that, I had to also mix the audio, which was very interesting. And I did a little bit of Foley for the game, but we also used some effects, and I had to mix those effects as well.
Wow. So you're doing double duty. That's very impressive. Very cool. And again, well done. Ocreatus, can you tell us about some of the biggest challenges you faced as a director and as a writer on this project?
So I speak for everyone in this call right now. This was our first game jam. not everyone on this call, but the majority of us, this was the first game jam that we did. So there was obviously some hiccups in communication. I've never been a project lead for a game like this one, so there were some few oversights I made communication-wise. Hi, Winner! We had poor Lucy.
Wintershin is in the chat saying, such a good soundtrack, also hi!
Thank you.
Hi, Winner! We had poor Lucy, who is credited as a proofreader, doing everything behind the scenes. Was like beating me with a stick on getting the grammar right, was like helping Ava, one of the programmers, was ensuring the coding was going well, lining all the sounds at 9,999 inventory full. I'll get it right,
Yeah, Lucy helped pick out a lot of the sounds that I didn't actually record and I just mixed.
Right, like Lucy was the goat of all time, and on top of that we had to juggle different time zones. Half of our group was, right, the devil of us all time zones.
That is something that's come up when talking to other creators here. One of the things that has come up is that a lot of teams are spread out across multiple time zones, and just juggling that alone is a logistical nightmare. So how many time zones do you guys have between you all?
Ooh, okay. Just to be general here, one in the Philippines, 2 in Europe.
Oh man.
2 in Eastern, 1 in Central, and then 1 in Californian time.
Oh my God.
Not Californian, PST.
Oh
Pacific.
my God. So you guys had it across the planet. That's amazing.
Yes. Right?
If you'd believe it, it's almost 6 a.m. for me.
Right, yeah.
Wow, thank you for being here at 6 a.m., Lord. Really appreciate that. Well, I want to shift to Lucy. Lucy, it sounds like you were kind of the glue on this project. Can you talk a little bit about your experience?
What have you guys done? I was happy in the shadow.
Right?
You don't have to say anything
out.
if you don't want to, but if you're comfortable talking about your experience, we'd love to hear it. But no pressure.
No pressure. So everyone thinks officially I'm the proofreader, but I'm kind of used to it. So I did want to mention that this was not my first jam. I've had a couple of other jams, but as 9,999 has prefaced, I think
Excuse me, I think it's 9,999 inventory full is the full name. And...
Oh, I'm sorry. I will use your full government name.
Please continue.
So as they prefaced that 80% of the game jams, fortunately, did not make it through the war of the 1 month. So it was pretty much a struggle to say I've done this and that, because we have done a whole bunch of things. As Ocreatus has mentioned, I wear many hats. So proofreader is only one of the hats. Sometimes I do the graphic design. Sometimes I do the character design. So I go around whichever slot I fill in. That's basically what I like to do, is filling in the holes. If there's ever an issue, I will try and find it. So for this one, it was a lot of fun. I think everyone has agreed. We are all genuinely shocked that we have succeeded so successfully.
Right?
Yeah.
we did it.
Well, I think that's really an important thing to highlight, because we only see the games that get done, right? And there's so many there's so many people that don't get done, and a lot of the time it's stuff that is just out of your control. People get sick. People have things happen in their lives. Most everybody that's doing this is also, juggling, a full-time job or other responsibilities. It's really, really hard, right? Is it that kind of, people just fall off and you never know the reason why they fell off and leave big holes in a production. Is that what you faced before this project?
Yeah, what happens usually is people start out, everyone, I think whenever it's not even game jam, if we think of Inktober or NaNoWriMo, everyone's like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the whole month to do the thing. Everyone has that ambition. But by the middle of the month, you just run out of fire. And sometimes, life just happens. You get distracted. but the fire runs out. The problem is, so my experience with one game jam was that, unfortunately, the lead was the writer and the artist.
Oh, wow.
So
oh
they
my
were
God.
they were basically doing everything but the programming and the graphic design. So what happened was they were more of the artist than the writer, but they had to do the writing, right? Like, if there's no story, you can't make the art. So what happened was they just lost steam. They were like, sorry, I can't do this. We were basically halfway. We had all of the art. I think what they loved was the art. So they finished all the art and then wanted to focus on the story, but they were struggling so hard. They tried hiring someone, but when the game jam passed, unfortunately, like, it was taking that long. They were hoping that we would be able to make this game like a full game. So it would have been just a demo for that game jam. They hired someone, but that person, as soon as game jam ended, they also said, I'm out, it's done. So it was an unfortunate of finding people, and then, well, you know, we can't really predict. Like I said, everyone here is surprised. Wow, we did. Because I think everyone has had the experience of getting on a team and then just getting, like, you know, life happens, getting dropped. People are like, I can't do this anymore, we're done. After the game jam, no one can blame anyone, honestly. So it's
just tough. But Wittershin says making it through the month is huge, and let alone making something so polished and fun to play. We have a commercial break coming up here, so I'd like to pause for just 3 minutes, and maybe we can get a drink and take a little break. But I'd like to come back and talk to you guys for a little bit more, if that's okay.
Of course.
Okay, so
sounds great.
We'll go ahead and take a 3-minute break. I'll run a commercial. I'll go grab a drink, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody.
Yippee!
Yay, we're back. We got everybody?
Hello.
We were talking about all the things that could go wrong in a game jam. And kudos to Lucy for holding things together and being the glue, it sounds like. Ocreatus, you mentioned time zones and sort of sounded like organization planning was kind of the biggest thing. Was there anything else that was challenging that you overcame here to make this thing happen?
I have a confession. There were originally 38 CGs planned.
Oh my God.
65. We were like, yeah, 38 CGs. That's maybe too many CGs that we're doing. Definitely, you know, Ron, take it easy. Don't work too hard. I look at you all like a one word.
You were the one, Ran, make this, make that. The lies.
Okay. To be fair, Ron was like, hey, can you give me like a list of what you want me to do? And I was like, you got it. I'm cracking my knuckles. I want a CG here. But like when we were originally drafting everything up for the meet and greet, so I was like, okay, Ron, how many CGs do you feel like doing? 38. 38 sounds good.
38.
So I wrote in our plan 38 CGs.
Just a nice round number.
Right.
Sorry, I missed it. Were you able to get all 38 CGs completed or no?
We got 65 CGs done.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yep.
That's excluding every variation that I made of them. In total,
Yes.
it's 80 CGs in the game.
Don't say it like that, Ron. You're gonna make all of the labor laws on me.
You're not treating me well, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Wittershin says, madness, ye gods. Okay, so it sounds like 9,999 inventory full. Oh, sorry. No, Ron. I'm just stuck on that name.
To say it
I just
again.
wanted to say it. So Ron, this was your challenge. Was we have a raid. So we were just asking Ron, who is the artist on this game, what their biggest challenge was, and their challenge was that they had to make 1 million CGs, 1 million, and it's just incredible. I think I want to go back to 9,999 inventory full. What about challenges for you?
I would say definitely I spent a lot of time on the very first song. I spent like a week on the first song, and then everything else I think
A quarter
spent
of the
like
time
3
that you
days
had for the jam.
non-stop. Yeah, I was getting into it because originally it was only going to be like 5 songs, I think.
Yeah, it was. I was scheduling it. I was
only
like,
gonna
we
be
got just enough time to make sure that you have enough time to get this done.
And now you've got 30 minutes of content on your YouTube
Yeah.
channel. Wow.
I think a large part of what happened, besides the me listening to it and then going like, oh, I need more moods, I need more variety. But like seeing like Ron do so many CGs got me really fired up because I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually gonna freaking finish. So then I got really excited because it's almost like I could give myself permission to go crazy because normally I wouldn't go that crazy. But the more I saw from this group, the more that I believed in everyone and the more that I was personally willing to give.
Right.
That's phenomenal.
Real.
I have to also say, I kind of did it to myself with doing so many CGs, because there were scenes where I think I didn't have to add that many CGs, but I still was thinking, it doesn't feel finished like that.
I remember sitting and I was like, okay, we only need like 1 CG for this entire moment. And Ron slides me like 3 different sketches.
Oh, and I should say really quick too, Ron also did the art for the soundtrack video that I posted on YouTube, and I'm really grateful for that because you did not have to do that because that wasn't part of the game itself.
Wait, so there's extra content on your YouTube in the form of a soundtrack video?
I have a video with the full soundtrack up. We didn't even hear the full soundtrack because some of the scarier songs we missed. But Ron did like the art for that as well, and the art from that is not actually in the game, and it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. It is a beautiful painting. It should be in the museum.
Absolutely.
We will definitely have a link in the description to 9,999 inventory fulls YouTube. So if anybody wants to check that out, they can check that out. I'm definitely going to go check it out.
Thank you.
Wow, Council, hello. Nice to see you. I kind of change gears here a little bit. So do you all have I'll start with Ocreatus. Do you have a favorite element of the game's design or something that you're most proud of?
Oh, you can't make me choose. These are all like my babies. I'm gonna like lose points. So my team, they're gonna like, why didn't you pick me? Honestly, every single part was my favorite. Like everyone did so many different cool things. From like, okay, we know that we were poking fun at 9,999 inventory fulls 1 week on the first song, but that was the one with the vocalization. I didn't even know that she approached, she was like, hey, I can remove it with the cello if you want me to. And I was like, no, we're keeping the vocals in there. That was perfect. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. Then, I don't know if you played the puzzle. You saw how actually interactive it was. That was great.
I really enjoyed that puzzle. I really enjoyed it. It was just the right amount of challenging for me. I was like, I don't get it. So it was nice.
So fun watching you put his like wrong chin under his face. It was like, why isn't it clicking? Trying so hard to be like, it's on the wrong side. Mr. Shins, it's on the wrong side.
And I would have been like, no backseat in your band.
Right,
I was also challenged by the puzzle, by the way. You're not alone.
Thank you. That does make me feel better.
But the puzzle is great. The actual like programming, the different choices. I don't know if you noticed it, but the steak in the cooking scene was actually interactable. You can make it move and make it sizzle.
I didn't notice.
The soundtrack, the art, the UI, every part of it was just great. The shot of him doing like the Bon Appetit darling is my wallpaper on everything now, I gotta admit. It's everywhere. It's my first time working with a team of not only this size, but also ever working with a team. And we finished the game, and I'm proud of us. That's my favorite part of it, that we actually banded together. And we did flippin' fantastic on it.
Wonderful, wonderful answer. Lucy, the glue who holds everything together. What about you? Do you have a favorite part of the game's design or something you're most proud of?
Well, I will echo the same sentiment that I actually enjoyed the entirety of it because when you see the fire in everyone working together. And this was even like the third week. It wasn't even the last week. It was like the third week of everyone still being active. You really have to hand it to them that you would also get super fired up. It was really wonderful to see. And I think, yeah, I can agree that I really wish that you found the special little interactive scene with the frying pan, because we were I was actually discussing it with Ocreatus that, man, if all, like, each scene, like the dinner and then the TV in the bedroom had at least one of those, just to make, add a little interactivity to the game, it would have been fun, right?
It's funny. I play visual novels not really expecting interactive elements, and so I wasn't really looking for it. I'm sorry that I missed that. But I should point out that everybody can download, play, and rate this game with the link at the top of the chat. So if you want to see more endings and experience more than what I experienced tonight, you can go do it. You should. That's my plug.
Yeah.
You can hear some
Actually,
scarier music.
The bad ending. I promise, the bad ending is worth it. It was fun. I've seen, like, if you've seen the scene of the bad ending, it's so good. You should try and fail.
Try and fail, please, because I do understand that everyone, like, from the soundtrack to the audio, of course, the audio, to the art was just amazing, spot on. The puzzle too. The puzzle changes every point you got talking to him. It would change the puzzle to be easier or difficult, depending on what you picked. And the bad ending is phenomenal, I gotta say. The music to it is just beautiful, chef's kiss.
I need you to have a t-shirt that says "Try and Fail" on it. I like it.
That route has some of my favorite CGs there too.
Right.
Yeah, everyone loves it.
Alice isn't our husband. Make him the monster.
winning.
No.
What had him on the monster than the monster fucker?
Right.
Ron, I don't know if you answered the question already, but same question to you. Did you have something you're most proud of or favorite element of the design?
The ending CGs, because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. The longer I look at my own CGs, the more I notice the flaws. So I'm slowly the longer I stare at what I drew, I'm just like, it looks bad now. And I know to everyone else it looks fine, but the curse of
and those CGs you were burning through. You must have. With so many CGs, you must have been burning through them by that point.
I think the first day I did like 4 CGs in a day.
You did 7. Day
You
1,
went
you did
so
7.
fast.
Oh,
It's
I did?
incredible.
Crazy.
Yes,
There was like 5 whips every like 2 hours or something, and I'm like, what's pinging? And it's like, it's man posting the whip and progressing every 30 minutes, and I'm like, oh my god.
right.
I didn't consider how that looked like from the other side. I was just kind of thinking, oh god, I'm too slow.
Apparently not. Apparently you are fast enough, and then some. So, and same question, 9,999 inventory full. A favorite element of the design or something you're most proud of? Or do we cover this?
Me personally, I love how cinematic the whole thing feels. Like, of course there's like choices in it because it's a visual novel, but the thing really feels like it could be a short film, both writing wise, visual wise, and I tried to go for music wise. It's just beautiful. I just love how cinematic it is.
It's a great answer. It really is very cinematic. I was really surprised that there were no sprites, and then really thrilled. And I kept thinking, how long are they going to be able to keep this up? And through the whole game, very impressive.
Agreed, like before the game jam started, before we got the whole team, that it couldn't be a game with just sprites. Neither of us could see it like that.
Absolutely not. Like, we love Atlas, but I can only imagine how many poses he could do before you're like, oh yeah, that guy's just a cute dog and not a beastie.
I mean, to me, he is a very cute dog.
He's a very good boy.
He is the best boy.
He's a good boy. He did not eat Iris.
He did not eat Iris.
Ocreatus, what do you hope that players take away from the game when they finish playing?
Well, throughout it all, would you call that monster your husband? Would you, like, the question I wanted to ask was, would you be able to tolerate the changes of your lover, even if they were sudden, even if you couldn't recognize them, because they're your lover? That's what I really want to have take away. Could you actually identify and love Atlas for who he was, even if he was a starling beast who drools over steak now?
I love that. I did think of the way that Iris was treating Atlas. I thought of some points in my life when I've been at a low point, and how Widdershins accepted me anyway, and took care of me anyway. And like that, the whole thrust of the narrative reminded me of those times. So well done there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Same question, Ron. Do you have something that you hope players take away from the game when they finish playing?
I think to also be mindful of the person who you're like in a relationship with, because Atlas, I like to think that throughout the art you can kind of see he doesn't intend to be a monster. He sometimes has to be reeled back, or sometimes kind of needs to be pulled out of his shell, but he's just a silly little guy.
He's just a silly little guy.
I mean, besides that, he doesn't have any bad intent. I like to think that the bad choices very much showcase that he is still your husband through it all.
Good answer. Lucy, same question.
Like, to me, I think we do see that some people have mentioned, like, why are some of the choices so vague? But, you know, sometimes life is like that. Like, sometimes you don't know what is the right or wrong answer. You just make a move and then pray that your intentions are seen, right, are visible, or that it reflects in what happens afterwards, like the consequence of your choices. So, like, people would be like, how do I make the choice to win? And I'm like, rather than finding choices to win, look for choices that you think you would make to make the story, to make it feel like you're included. Like, what would you, the question of the game, it was already written in the synopsis, not the synopsis, like, the word is slipping me. It's in the front page, basically. Like, what would you do? Like, the reason this entire story was done in second person, because obviously the writer, Ocreatus, is saying, what would you do in this situation? So my take is, like, when you play the game, play it in a way that you would choose the choices that you would make and be satisfied with what you get in the end, and not question, like, I choose this and how come I didn't win? Well, sometimes it's not about winning. It's just what happens when you choose a choice this is what is the result of that. And you're like, you can learn to accept it. You can learn to accept. I also encourage replaying the game. If you can't accept it, then replay it. Like, there's a reason that there's choices, because you can practice, like, deciding, like, for yourself. Like, don't make people like, we also actually, did you know that we provided a walkthrough, so that if you ever want to like find a specific ending, you can do that. We have a walkthrough in the front.
That's awesome. I totally hear what you're saying with the choices thing, because I think there's a tendency that is kind of programmed into players, myself included. It's like, to echo what you're saying, like, you know, there's the right choice and there's the wrong choice. There's the good ending and the bad ending, and we've got to make the right choices so that we get to the good ending. But it really is, it's great game design to make those choices such that, you know, it's not about good or bad. It's about what is truer to you, or what you feel you would do in that situation, or how you see the situation and interpreting it. I really appreciate that take on choices, because choices are so important to visual novels, right? And to this genre. So I really appreciate that answer. 9,999 inventory full. Do you have?
Yeah.
a thing that you hope players take away from the game when they finish playing it.
Yeah, I do. I kind of wanted to add on to a bit of what Lucy was saying really quick, though.
Of course.
Because something that really struck me with the choices idea is that in like a lot of the tropes behind similar visual novels or just like horror visual novels in general is like, I feel like you could kind of feel this when you were playing it, is you're kind of expecting the sudden bad end. And that almost like feeds into this feeling of like the ambiguity of the choices, because it, like me personally reading through the script, I'm kind of like, when I was reading through it for the first time, I'm like, okay, when's the bad end gonna come where like you mess up and you get too close to him and he attacks you, but it doesn't. And that really struck me too, because like you can feel that a lot in your life with relationships, even with people that you're really close to, where you're kind of like sometimes like you might feel a little unself-confident, or like you might see something playing out in your head a certain way due to like anxiety or whatever, but that's not necessarily how that's going to turn out if you give the person a chance. So that's something I really liked about the ambiguity of choices.
That's very well said. I really love this conversation we're having. About choices. Spike says, I agree, no wrong answers, all right answers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and we're running a little short on time here. So
Okay.
I've got two more questions for you guys, and then I want to make sure that if there's anybody in the chat that would like to ask any questions of the devs here, go ahead and write those into chat and I will read them out. Ocreatus, if you could go back and give your past self one piece of advice when you started the project, what would it be?
I grip my hands together and pray, please, dear Lord, baby Dallas, do not delude yourself into thinking 38 CGs is enough for Ron to handle alone. Do not let Ron undertake 65 CGs alone. They can do it, but at the cost of everything. Also talk less per line. It'll save Ava so much more time on translating the story into code.
I love it. Ron?
I would tell my past self, please ask Dallas how long the intro scene is going to be in every other scene afterwards.
Lucy?
Dear Lucy, you're never gonna be just a proofreader. You're gonna be everything and you're gonna like it.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I love it.
You're a producer.
Right.
You're a producer.
You're a producer.
Give me that fancy roll, the next one.
9,999 inventory full. What about you?
Oh my gosh, I never experienced this before because most of the stuff I've worked on has not gotten finished. But when you write songs, it's good to write down where the songs go so the programmer can know where to put the songs. Because I had to spend a lot of time going back through the script at the end and play testing and going like, oh, this song goes here, that song goes there. But it probably wouldn't have taken that long had I done that as I wrote the songs, even if I had to change it. And also, having a sound designer is good because somehow I was just expecting the sound effects to sort of happen, but we had to actually figure that out.
It was a group effort.
Mistershins has a lot to say on sound design. Like it's the thing that falls through the cracks. It's like, who's doing this? Oh, I guess it's the director. I guess it's me. You know, it falls on somebody who can do it. Well done there, getting all that done. I also want to ask you guys, I really am enjoying talking to you guys, and I hope that I get to follow up with you on your next project. Can you all, what's coming up next for everybody? Are you guys going to stick together and do another jam, or do you have any plans for the future, individual plans or as a group?
I smile so brightly to you, and I say that I speak for the bulk of the group that we're slowly chipping away at a Yuri game jam entry. It's called The Miles of Blue Rose. Yes.
Very cool. And sorry, it's Yuri Jam, right? When is that coming up?
Yes. It is starting right now. It's currently ongoing as we speak.
Oh, wow.
You've separated me from the script long enough for me to be here. But you're gonna. It ends December 1st is when the last day is.
December 1st. That's coming up. Wow. So you guys, so you get a little bit longer than Spooktober.
Yes.
And then what's the judgment period after that? Is it a month
There
or
isn't. No judgment.
No
Just
judgment.
creating a game. Yep. So we're frolicking, trying to get a lot easier this time around.
If you want to follow up with this team, you guys go ahead, click the link that is pinned at the top of the chat, and make sure you follow them on itch so you can see their next entry. And any other individual things you guys have going on?
I am currently working on, because I also do art. I'm drawing up a music video for a song that I wrote a while ago that I'm just getting around to, because I'm on a little break while the script is being written. And I'm hoping to just keep recording songs, keep working on my singing. I love writing. I'm loving composing for games, and I'm also loving doing more singing stuff. So it's a lot of fun.
Very cool. Will that be on your YouTube channel when you finish? Will you post it there?
Yes, correct.
Excellent. Okay, so we will have a link to 9,999. I'm having so much fun saying your name. 9,999 Inventory Full's YouTube channel, so you can check out their work.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for being here. I really enjoyed Houndwife and really enjoyed talking to you all. Were there any questions from anybody in the chat? Did anybody have anything that they wanted to ask? I know we covered a lot of ground here, but it doesn't look like anybody has come up with anything. Oh, do you have, Avalon Melody says, do you have a favorite scene, moment, quote in the game? Anybody can take it.
You are. Bon appetit, darling, hands down.
Bon
the dinner
appetit.
scene.
Bon appetit, darling. Very good. Very good. It was a good moment.
Oh, I got one. We didn't get to see it in the playthrough today, so it's a bit of a spoiler, but you guys can go check it out yourself. But there's a moment where Atlas tries to say Iris's name, and he sort of goes like, Iris! And it's like so chilling, because you expect it to be scary, but he's doing his best to like just say her name, because you know, he's doing his best, but it comes off as so scary.
I noticed that there was a voice actor credited for. Oh
my gosh! Yes.
It says
So
Rascal Dallas Dog, canine voice actor for Atlas. Is this a voiced line?
If you've heard it, if you heard the whimpering and occasionally some of the burping that we all kept quoting, that was my dog.
That was your dog.
That's my dog. You heard it when he joined when we started the Q&A. He started barking. He wanted to make it clear he deserved credit too. He's in my lap right now, sitting attentively. Yeah, so Rascal's the voice actor.
So fantastic.
I should note that I pitched his barks down. He does not sound quite that scary. It is pitched down and a lot of reverb.
Yes.
Oh, that's so good. I'm glad that came up. Okay. We got to get on to the next game. Thank you guys so much for being here, for sharing your work and your time. It was such a pleasure. Development team for Houndwife, you guys. This is Ocreatus, writer and director, Rananculus, visual designer, Proofreader, and glue that holds the whole team together. Lucy, and composer and audio designer, 9,999 Inventory Full. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will hopefully we get to do this again sometime.
Oh,
yeah, thank you for having us.
Wait, one last thing. We actually are putting Houndwife in the Raise Your Voice Jam.
Oh,
so
really?
we are looking at maybe, have we opened auditions yet, Ocreatus?
I think that Kiara is working on it, but she'll open it soon enough.
Oh, that's wonderful. There are a number of voice actors currently in the community. So voice actors, if you're here, you have an opportunity to be a voice for Houndwife. That's really, really exciting.
Mhm.
Okay. We'll also post that in our Discord if that's okay, because there are a number of the voice actors, at least from the last game, have joined the Discord, and we can get their eyes on it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Great. You guys, thank you again so much. You guys, please download, play, and rate Houndwife. And thank you guys. Thank you, developers, for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure being here.
Right.